The Morning Brew podcast with Jaffe and Razor, sponsored by Berkshire Bank Home Lending. Where you borrow matters. Well, on this beautiful Friday morning from Secaucus, New Jersey, looking outside my hotel room while Razor is comfortably sitting inside his palatial estate in parts unknown, Massachusetts. We welcome you into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor as we get you going and talk about the Boston Bruins. Last time we spoke with you was on Tuesday. Last episode record was Tuesday morning, so before the Anaheim game. An opportunity for them to, really take it to a team that's not as good as them in Anaheim, and they have a hard time with them, Razor. They lose that game, but then they bounce back after having a day off in Vegas, and they look fresher. Who the hell ever says that? After they look fresher, and they come out and they take it to the Vegas Golden Knights 5-2 on Thursday night. Welcome you again into Morning Brew, presented by our great friends over at Berkshire Bank. We'll touch on Fazenda Coffee a little bit later. Razor, that was a fun game to watch, and it was, I think the only word that really jumps to mind is impressive that went over Vegas.
It was impressive, and it was impressive because they made it look easy. They came out in the first period and got to their game like we've talked about before. I think the bounce back, again, that Anaheim, you're not going to go on this road trip undefeated, but their ability to recognize that they need to nip it in the bud, this team does that very well. They haven't passed, and they continue to do that. This group recognizing the big stage too. ESPN game, national game, they recognize that, and the stars consistently on this team come out to play on these nights.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said, and I'm not going to get crazy into it, but the national game on ESPN, holy smokes, the telecast. Yeah, deep breath, sigh, and we move on. That's what I call you need a yoga breath when thinking about that show. Anyways, with that said, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think and I think what was really impressive was that they recognized it, the leaders, but it ended up being, again, the role players that came through. And you're never, we're never going to give those guys enough credit. You're going to lavish them with praise, the third and fourth liners, when they do something. But if you really think about it, it's the old cliche. A team is only as good as their weak is not the right term, but lower level parts. These guys are NHLers, and you have to appreciate how freaking good they are when it's all said and done. That's, you know what I mean? A fifth liner on any team could go out and dominate regular hockey anywhere to the point you think they're Gretzky. But the fact that the Noseks, the Fredericks, hey, I mean, I'm still not like, Jesper Frodin, he's doing little things. You know what I mean? Foligno, the last couple of games, Razor, have been really good. And last night, it just happened to be, thankfully, Shooter Smith's night as he got himself back on the score sheet. But it was about those guys coming through for this team.
It was, and it's been the case as well, just the way they're playing. And it was nice for them to get on the score sheet. It's unbelievable to see Nick Foligno get on the score sheet and find that left wing role. That works. He can score once a month now on that line, and it feels productive. Right? Mm-hmm. What a difference it feels like to be able to have that third line chugging the way it is, to have Shooter Smith on that third line, his ability to score like we saw last night. I know he's in a long drought, but he always has that ability. We've been saying it over and over. Maybe tonight's the night he breaks out, and when he does, he's going to be good. Trent Frederic, huge jump since coming out of the break at Christmas time. What a jump. Mm-hmm. Like, the question mark around him over Christmas, can he dig in? Can he be fast enough? Can he play quick enough? What an add that has been to the third line. And then the defense checking in, Carlo assists, Forbert assists, Grzelcyk assists, pucks to the net, getting pucks through. That is a major upgrade this road trip in general, but certainly the last 2 games that we haven't talked about. Such a difference, and allows Fredericks and allows Smith to get to the front of the net and play the way they want to play. They can't create the same way that a Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak can. They need some help from that back line, getting pucks towards around the net, and that's how they're going to score, and the defense did a nice job of that for them.
The defense did. I was very happy with those numbers that you brought up. I was going to touch on them too, so we got those in. But I was really happy with their stick placement last night against Vegas. I thought they thwarted so many things in the middle of the ice. I thought that they, whether it was gap up, whether it was just closed gaps with their sticks, stepping at the right spot. They gave up some chances. Well, okay, Vegas is still a pretty good team. I mean, they've got. I know they're without Mark Stone and and Pat Chiaretti is not there, but they're still a good team. They Bruins did a nice job. I really thought defensive structure, I guess that's the term, Razor, that jumped out at me. Let's go to Craig Smith. Let's touch on him because he deserves it right away. You mentioned it. I mean, his line was excellent. A lot of guys talking about writing about the third line, and rightfully so. But the point that you made that we discussed a couple of games ago on air, actually on Nest, was that how he has never stopped working. That's good karma. That's hockey karma right there. He has never done that frustrated. Sure, you've seen it in his eyes a little bit, but you've never seen him slam his stick and not bust his ass down the wing to get back on a back check. And he's always trying. That's what's kept him in the league as long as he has. Of course, his scoring is the main thing. But when it's all said and done, good for him. That first goal, good shot. You know what I mean? It's just, that was a good shot. Unfortunately, the previous, 9 games or whatever, he would have put that right into the midsection of the goalie, of Robin Leonard. This time, he beats him on that side, and it was a snipe, and that was Craig Smith at his finest. The second goal, look, he was in the right spot on the ice. It wasn't lucky. He put himself into the right spot on the ice with the pass over, or the right doorstep. The third goal was gorgeous again. You got Leonard spinning around like a crazy top there. He got bumped by his own teammate.
D-man. Get out of the way, D-man.
Seriously, move. I thought Leonard would drop the mitts with him. But then Craig Smith, mad. That's Shooter Smith. That's your definition, right, Razor, of Shooter Smith from that offside sniping it. So 3 goals, 3 different ways, but all of them really classic Craig Smith.
Very classic Craig Smith. And that's the snowball, the accumulation of all the work he's been putting in. That, to your point, the first goal, he's had 25 of those shots in the last 10, 15 games, and he's either missed, goalie's made a really nice save on him, or it just hasn't gone in. It bounces somewhere. Second one, same thing. He's been in those positions, puck hasn't gone to him. And then the third one, he just hasn't put himself in that situation because he hasn't felt confident to take that one-timer over there. He's been trying to work down low or go to the gritty. He gets a couple goals now. The whole shift, he literally sat there like David Pasternak over on that left wing waiting for that one-timer. He was hitting that no matter what. Instead of maybe the last 8 or 9 games, he's thought about, all right, I'm going to get on the cycle here. I'm going to get to the front of the net. So great accumulation of confidence all within 2 periods from Smitty last night, and that's huge for that line. Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, it becomes unspoken confidence. It just is for that line even more. Less pressure even more for that line. You get them going. Tomáš Nosek getting a welcome back moment in Vegas. I saw your tweet, and I couldn't agree more. And I have nothing particular. I'm a huge... Tomáš Nosek is a guy that I have never been able to say hello to, sit down next to in the locker room, and get to know him. But I can tell you he's the kind of guy that would be quiet, soft-spoken, and you would gravitate towards because he does his role very much like a Joakim Nordstrom did for this Bruins team a couple of years ago, right? Very much so like a Noel Acciari type of thing, soft-spoken, just doing their role. I mean, a Corrali, they're all just wonderful guys that get it. And when are we done with these welcome back moments? I mean, and I can't figure out, by the way, I watched Tomáš's, on social media. I saw the whole thing. It has this dramatic, melodramatic music below it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be sad like Hallmark, oh my God, or am I supposed to be, yes, Tomas is back, happy. I don't know what to feel because I want to cry on the one hand that he's not there anymore, Mr. Original Golden Knight. And then on the other hand, should I be happy that I don't know if I'm supposed to cry or cheer. We gotta, enough is enough. Isn't that the point?
That's the point. It's nothing, and it's nothing against the players, the individual players, the personal player. But these guys don't expect it. I hope they don't expect it, and it is out of control. Chris Weidman in Ottawa is getting what are we doing? These are supposed to be saved for the guy who's played for that team for 15 years, for Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand. You have to go to All-Star. There should be a criteria. We have to set a criteria where these tribute goes to players. And it has to be minimum 10 years with the organization. Minimum. Beyond that, everyone moves around.
I'm with 10 years.
Literally a tribute video every game in every NHL rink. It's banana land. It's crazy to me. And again, I'm a player's guy. It's not about that. It has nothing to do. It's just why? It's a participation trophy at this point, and it takes away from the real tribute videos that are supposed to be happening.
Right. Exactly. And the real tribute videos are supposed to be a solid minute, and the guy gets a standing O for 30 seconds.
Mark Giordano. That's the one this week or the past 10 days. That guy gets one. He wins a Norris, captain of the team for 10 years. Everything he's meant to that team, that organization. The ones that come behind it take away from that one. And he should have got more love for that.
Right. I'm completely with you. But I love the participation trophy analogy because that's what it is. So if one organization, and you know it, bud, they're sitting there, if they say, well, if we don't do it, are players going to hold it against us? Are our fans going to cheer, we want Tomas? I am not picking on him. I am not picking on him. I am telling you, folks, if I'm sitting down next to Nosek, I'm telling you right now, I like this guy. I mean, I root for this. I don't get to know him personally, and I am a fan of his because of how good, smart, efficient, and effective he is. It's just holy smokes. So anyways, I'm sure it was a nice 30-second thing. But Nosek's line was real good. Let's move back to the game. I'll get off my issue moment and talk about Frederic. And I don't think it's any coincidence, and I'm not going to make too big of a deal of it because we touched on his fight with Lemieux the other day. But Razor, that was a mature moment fight. It was the right type of fight. It was I'm not going to yap fight or yap and then not fight. It was and I think that was a confidence fight. And I don't think it's any coincidence that we continue to see the maturation of his game, little signals game to game from him. And let me throw this out there too. And I don't know how much in the last couple of weeks that he has worked with Kim Brandvold, the Bruins skills skating coach, but I know he's worked a lot with him in the past, getting him lower, getting him more proficient in his stride, getting him to an area, because big guys take longer, Razor, to learn how to skate. And knee bend sounds so easy, yet it is so freaking hard all the time. So good on Freddie, and I guarantee that Kim Brandvold had a big hand in this too.
No question. He's worked on it. He will continue to work on it. He's recognized that since he got in the league, and this is the player that he is. This is the player the Bruins drafted him for. This is what they've been wanting to get out of him. That not the go fight Tom Wilson stuff and chirp PK Subban. Yeah, that stuff's fun, and it was a good way for him to get some love early in his career. But to actually build a career and become an NHLer, this is what he needed to do, and this was the message from the Bruins since day one. This is what we want you to be, and it's taken him a little bit longer than we all wanted. But the fact he's here now, and the fact that what he's doing is repeatable, I think that's very important. For Trent Frederic, what he's doing right now is repeatable on a night in, night out basis. There's nothing flashy happening. There's nothing where you're like, wow, this is out of your seat. This is just him skating and working really hard with Kim Brandvold over the time, and it's clicked. And now he can do it on a nightly basis. And to be able to have that consistency on the third line that the Bruins have right now really produces a matchup problem down the next 2 months.
Right. The numeric line, whatever you want to call it, the chronological order line, the 1, 2, 3 line, maybe that's it. The 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 13,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Maybe we just call it the 1, 2, 3 line. I don't mind that. I'm not a real smart guy, a marketing guy, but maybe we just call it that. Pretty good numbers last night against Vegas. 7 shots. Now, both of the 3 shots from Frederick, 4 shots from Shooter Smith. No shots on net from Coyle. He had 1 that got blocked. But they each played over 15 minutes. Freddie, 15:09, Craig Smith, 15:19, and then Charlie, 15:34. And what I really find promising are 2 numbers. 1, 4 hits from Trent Frederick. That's a great stat. It's a great stat for him. And I know they're subjective rink to rink, but let's just say all legit. That's great. That means he's getting in on the play. 2, 103. He played 1 minute and 3 seconds of shorthanded. So the fact that, they're starting to work, they're continuing to work him in to that role is important. And he's what's that, allowing at times situational. Remember, they had started working Jake DeBrusk into the role of a shorthanded guy too at times, Razor. And I don't think Jake played any time, if I remember correctly. I should look. No, I don't think he didn't hit any shorthanded ice time last night. Jake didn't, but he had a little power play time. But you're getting options, depth, balance through your lineup that helps keep guys involved more, and it helps balance legs more too. So it's great to see those numbers, and it is incredibly encouraging that your matchup game, in theory, should be much better. And it not in theory, it is much better because matchups on the road are a whole lot tougher. The shit is a lot tougher to do on the road than it is at home. And the Bruins, obviously on this road trip, having gone 4-1 so far, have been okay in the matchup game.
They have, and it looks like they're not too concerned with it. It looks like they're dictating, and that's really where you want to be as a team and as a coach, where you're not fretting over every matchup or every defensive zone faceoff or an icing call where you have a line out there that needs to change as soon as the puck exits the defensive zone. When you don't have to worry about that as a team, when you can just play and trust everybody who you're rolling over, it is such a different feel on the bench. It gives you so much more momentum and confidence, and that's where the Bruins are at right now. It's very obvious when you watch them.
Yeah. We have always said, Razor, that the East is better than the West, the top 8 in the East. You could argue the top 9 even with Columbus, which I'm so impressed with, and who the team that we are going to see next coming up. They're not there yet, but they're better than we thought they were going to be. Do we, and I'm not trying to throw, water on this fire. Do we take out of this, my friend, that this is actually what should happen for the Boston Bruins on this road trip? Like, should we expect this? Or should we be like, yeah, okay, it's a great road trip, but really this is what they should be doing? Or is that not giving the Bruins enough credit?
Hindsight tells us that this is just what they should be doing. If they are a legitimate top 10 team in this league, 7 of them are on the east side of the ledger. But yes, this is what they should be doing. And in 2019, we would have expected it. I think it's been more uneven this season, and I'm not saying they're President Cup trophy winning team right now, but they're playing similarly. You brought defensive structure up. That is a consistent, repeatable thing for this group at this second, and it has been the last few weeks. So that keeps them in every game. And when the Stars are playing, the depth on the offense is going, then yes, this is something to expect now. And I think I expect them to win in Columbus again. Like, now it's to the point where they go out on the ice and you expect them to win, not maybe they'll win. It's a big difference.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting game in Columbus. We can touch on that quickly now, and then we're going to talk quickly about Fazenda. I don't know if it's going to be easy. I think the energy from Columbus is going to be palpable. Now, they're also doing Rick Nash jersey retirement on before the game, so it's going to be a very festive night at the arena there. It's a fun arena. They did do a nice job with the arena. I like Nationwide. It's good. I mean, the Cannon I can't stand. Don't get me going on that.
Yeah, the Cannon stinks.
Stinks. But they made it a very viewable arena, very, very friendly arena, loud arena. It's going to be a festive night. Bruins spent the night Thursday in Vegas, not because they won, but because they determined that. Why the hell are you going to fly from the desert in Vegas to get in at 4 a.m. with time change into Columbus, when you could also have a nice night in Vegas, win or lose? Obviously, everything will be nicer now that they won. And a few guys might need to sleep it off on the plane ride in there, which is fine. You need to have some fun too. But I do, Razor, I think it's going to be a tough game in Columbus. Columbus is looking at this and saying, this is a must-win. This is an ultimate cliche must-win game for us against the Bruins if we have any hope of, forget catching them, but catching staying at the Washington Capitals' tail.
This is a tough game. It certainly is. The last game of the road trip, coming 2 hours east. That time change is always difficult coming east. I've always found it that way anyways. And yeah, Columbus should have more emotional investment in this game because of Rick Nash-Knight, who is another guy who deserves a tribute. This is a guy who deserves a tribute. And to your point, this is must win for them. That's how this is a playoff game for them. They're looking at it the same way the Islanders did. Even though they had no chance, you still have a target on your back if you're the Boston Bruins in games like this. So it's a difficult out and a difficult way to end the road trip. But again, I don't see how the Bruins aren't in this game right up until the end.
Well, you're right. I mean, this is one of those. Listen, we've had a special road trip. Let's finish it really strong. No crystal ball here, but I could see if the Bruins were able to find a way to win that game, then come, Monday's game at home? That could be tough. That first game back from a road trip might not be pretty. And it's cliche because it's true. That's why. That's a tough game. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's take a moment here and talk about Fazenda and Fazenda Coffee Roasters, our friends out of Dedham. They're Boston's specialty coffee roaster. They're so good. They are so good to us. They're so good to their customers. We love having them back on Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. I can't wait to get back home. I'm at the NHL Network, and I think we may have a little bit of product there. Can't wait for it. Go to fazendacoffee.com. Use the code Morning Brew. Get 15% off your order. And we're going to give you another place where they carry Fazenda. And this is, you know what? This is a great, perfect name, Razor, for today. It's in North Andover, and it's called the Good Day Cafe. I actually think I've been there. I think I've been there because it's not far from the rink, if I remember correctly. And if it is that one, it was fantastic. The food and everything. We go to Good Day Cafe in North Andover. Find yourself some Fazenda blend or Fazenda roast there, and go support them. And again, fazendacoffee.com. Use the code Morning Brew. They've got it all. And they're very workable, very good people over there. And we appreciate them sponsoring Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. So go check them out. Razor, tell me about, as you continue to watch Jeremy Swayman, I don't want to know what he's doing better. We've talked about that more and more. But we've had some good talks on and off the air about how, when I say pump the brakes, it's not like we didn't think he was a great prospect. It's, let's just work it in. Has he now has he gotten past the pump the brakes, or are we still at pump the brake time in a good way? Like, the good news is, folks, he's been really good. He's still got, 10 degrees more to go to heat up.
Oh, let him loose. Let him loose. Now you can run the horse now. And it's still, he's going to have a bad week. He's going to give up 5 goals at some point. This isn't going to, as good as the Bruins are playing defensively too. Okay. This has to be brought in, and it's not a slight on Jeremy. It's just the way they're playing now is different than what they were playing in October and November. It flat out is. The distance, the average distance of shots is, Ullmark and Swayman are the furthest away in the entire league. So that has to be brought in. And with his confidence growing every day, the team's confidence, the league's confidence in him, that's something too. Now the league's all recognizing. Guys are missing shots on him because they recognize that he's a good goalie. They're trying to be a little bit finer than what they would be with just a normal rookie goaltender. So that's important for a young goaltender as well. So you can let him loose now. You can play him. You can put him in these big spots and still expect 1 setback, 2 setback here. But you're playing him game 1 of the playoffs if it starts tomorrow. So you need to challenge him to that next step. And again, he's taken every step that's been in front of him at this point. Now it's a matter of taking the pressure of being the number 1 goalie. When he comes back from the road, it'll be a bit of a different feel for him here in Boston, and what people expect out of him. And he has to raise his game again to that.
How about some of those saves against Vegas? Holy smokes.
No, that's great.
Who was the big one? Was that Carrier? Oh my God, I should remember. I'm
the one over to his block, the blocker to his right. I don't know who the player was, but again, that's a great example of him being more conservative in his depth. I would suggest last season he might have been out 3 feet further where he doesn't, a foot further where he can't get to it. Now he's coming back to his post. He's right inside of his post on that play, and that's what they've been working so hard on him with, is being aggressive but having conservative depth at certain times. And that was that play where he recognizes the flank and he's not above any of those flank players. He's below them, underneath them, allows them to get over. So his athleticism's always going to be there.
Think about it. Like the goal that went in, the Eichel breakaway, Jack didn't mean to do that. As great as a player as he is, he didn't. But that threw Jack off, which threw that boy, that doesn't sound right. That threw Jack Eichel.
It sure did. Oh, Vegas.
Oh boy.
Someone's gonna cut that. You can edit that any different way and take that out of context.
That threw off Jeremy Swayman because Jack Eichel did not mean to lose the puck. But, okay, that kind of shit happens, man, right? I mean, that just does. And then the Marchessault goal was from Jonathan Marchessault is a hell of a shooter, and they pulled the goalie and they shoot it, and there's a screen in front. And okay, so doing well. I want to go back to your point about how much better the Bruins D is. And until recently, we had Bruce Cassidy. We had Butch talking 2 weeks ago about more pricks needed, right? More prickness from the back. Isn't it interesting, Razor, how you don't need to be as much of a prick when you're not always deep in your own zone, when you cut off rushes at your own blue line and, 8 to 10 feet inside, and you get it out with the help of your forwards, by the way. But the D-men aren't going to have to be sustaining time in their own zone where they're battling it out, where they've got to be bigger pricks. It's amazing. I still think they need physical play on the back end. No question. It still has to be addressed. I'm not going to BS. This team is great right now. We're in the moment of greatness, but I'm still not looking at playoffs saying, yes, they're fine. They need an element of that in the back. But isn't it amazing how it doesn't become as evident, I guess, when you're shutting off plays in different areas of the ice?
No question. When you're not playing defense, you don't have to be a prick. You get to be offensive. You get to skate with the puck. You get to put pucks on net as defensemen. And I think that's where this team. That's how this team is built. That's what they expected from this defense. And I agree. I don't know if you can win 16 games doing that come playoff time. There's going to be nights where you're in your zone and you have to find a way to get it out and be a prick about it. But at this point, that's how this D is predicated to do that, and they're doing a very good job of it right now. And if they can add something or someone to bolster the prickness, then even better.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. A couple of other things from the game. Holla, a couple of assists. Loved him getting to the front of the net. Thought the Bruins did a good job with that. David Pastrnak scores a couple of goals, including an empty netter. Pasta joins Cam Neely as the only player in Bruins history with 5 30-goal seasons prior to turning 26 years old. Pretty good stuff, especially considering, how the year started for David. I thought Taylor Hall early on in the game, getting to the net, really good. It wasn't that DeBrusk, Marchand, and Bergeron weren't good in the game. It just wasn't reliant on them, And that's a beautiful sign when you're on the road that you're not reliant. It's outstanding. Let's take a couple of questions, Razor, then we'll wrap up this Morning Brew. And there's a few that came in again later night, so maybe some didn't see our post putting it out there. This one comes from Frank Ryan, or the handle is Ryan Francis. Ryan Francis, very, very formal, 4426. With the team playing so well, what do Jake DeBrusk's teammates think of him? It seems incredibly selfish at this point. I'm going to disagree, Frank Ryan or Ryan Francis, 4426. I'm going to disagree. This is an ultimate. This is a business. This is 23 independent contractors that, yes, need to come together as one, or as much together as they can to reach the ultimate goal. However, you know, we always say you got to look out for yourself, right? Like that's what, and not being selfish. There's selfish, and then there's looking out for yourself. This has not been hidden. He has not hid it from his teammates. This just got public a couple of months ago. What do his teammates think of him? Not being, again, see how sit in the locker room. I can only tell you this: body language when he scores, it shows that they're more than happy, Razor, that he is scoring and he's there. They understand that he's gone through stuff, and this is how he feels. And he's going to do as long as he's doing his job. That's it. Patrice has talked to him about it. The leaders have talked to him about it. Do your job, and you're good.
Yeah, that's the expectation in the National League. Every team has 4 or 5 guys that are unhappy on a daily basis. Easy, if not more. The teams at the bottom probably have 10 or 11 guys, and the teams at the top have 2 or 3. But everybody's got guys that are sitting in the hot tub before or after practice bitching and complaining about something. They're unhappy with whatever it is. And that's no different for the Bruins. It's no different for Tampa Bay or anyone else. And guys understand that. They're, like you said, they're independent contractors at the end of the day. They have to take care of themselves. And that's part of being a good teammate too, is looking out for yourself and putting it on the line. But this group has it under control. They've been dealing with this, I got to admit, like over 2 years now. Like Jake DeBrusk hasn't been happy for a long time. Certainly all through last season, there was stuff going on, and it's fine. These guys don't even recognize it at this point. They really aren't.
Right. They know it's there. They know it could happen. And you know what? They know they're winning. That's all they know right now. And so he's scoring and he's contributing. So they'll see. They all know the ultimate hockey business term, it's a business. We all know that. A couple of people, including Steve Harding. Oh, and there was another one too, Razor. I've got to find it real quick as I look up. Aaron Broccoli. All right. They want to know about players available for the Bruins at the deadline. And one guy, I think it was Harding, that asked about top D. And then Aaron wants to know about top players for the Bruins to target. You know, what's going to happen with Jake? Is he going to be part of something bigger to bring back something bigger? I still say we don't know about Eero Vakanainen. Haven't heard anything about him. We don't know more about depth defensemen too, Razor. So I still think they need a depth defenseman. I'm not giving up a first-round pick for Ben Sherratt. I'm not. I'm not, at least. I don't see that. And I think there's other teams that think that they're there. I would personally rather see a bigger deal if it does involve Jake, to try and get, you're going to need a right wing then. That's the thing. You're going to be back to needing a right winger that can play with that top line. I mean, do you try and go out if Forsberg doesn't sign with Nashville? Do you try and go out and get that done? But can you afford that? I mean, maybe you can, given that your goaltending next year is still going to be only $6 million. I'm using round numbers, and Bergeron, assuming he comes back, would be probably lower to help the team out. I'm assuming. Maybe it's an unfair assumption. Do you try and go out and get a guy like that? Can you say to Nashville, here's a guy like DeBrusk and a prospect, and we go and do that? And maybe, we've talked about Claude Giroux. You could probably get him for less, being he can control where he wants to go. Would that be something there? Do you like Mark Giordano for this team?
I mean, he fits the bill. He checks all the boxes on the back end. He's probably not the most physical player in the world, but he's hard to play against. He's he gets it back there. He's big and long and strong, and he's very good offensively. He's a good shot. You're at the NHL Network right now. I mean, nothing's happening, right? Like they're talking that the sellers want to get going and the buyers don't want to because of salary cap, and they don't know what they have. Like everyone's at a standstill right now. So it's really hard to get a good grasp on what's going on out there because nothing's happening. So that's my reluctance to even bring names up right now, because it's like I don't know what is the market for these guys, and is anything actually going to get done? It seems like a dam will break.
Yeah,
but
I do think know. I think there will. I think there will be. Keep an eye on the New York Rangers. They've got $30 million basically equivalent cap space. Crazy stuff. Like they could do some crazy stuff. Keep an eye on them. Bruins are fine. I think it's a little over $5 million that they'll have room, the equivalent of a $5 million plus player. So if they move some salary too, they could bring something in. I do think it'll break. I'm almost positive that Giordano's going to get traded. He knows it. I think he probably wants it too.
Yeah, I'm sure he does,
given his age and all. I think that Seattle will do more than a few moves as well. So we got a lot going on, a lot to look forward to. Let's wrap this up, though, bud. Let's get ourselves to work for the rest of the day. Bruins win. Again, they're 4-1 on this road trip. A lot of good vibe happening right now. They're flying as we speak, I think, to Columbus. Get in. Rick Nash night in Columbus Saturday. Bruins on Nesson starting at 6 o'clock. Pre-game, 7 o'clock face-off. Then they're back home for a Monday game. And I believe after Monday's game, Razor, is when you and I will sit down for another Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, presented by Berkshire Bank. Everybody, be good, be safe, have some fun, enjoy where your bees are at. And as always, you, me, Razor, everybody, enjoy your coffee.